What's been going on, guys? The world is getting crazy. In spite of the Trump win, in spite of everything, the world is getting crazy. And we're seeing it with the things that have been happening. So, we saw the horrific terrorist attack in Germany that killed 11 people and injured dozens, which, that has been truly sad. We've seen Nick Fuentes almost getting killed after, somebody came up to his house and a girl, a Jewish woman, from my understanding, and she wanted to make him pay the price for the things he said. Then we've also seen Andrew Tate's case getting almost dismissed. It's not been dismissed. I don't want to spread misinformation. It's been sent back to the prosecutors, but probably what they will do is join the two cases and try to make it go to trial. I don't know whether they'll succeed. Because if they have failed with 2.5 years of investigation with this case, almost 3 years, because this thing started in April 2022. They were arrested in December 2022, and then they were arrested also in March 2024 and August 2024. But still, all of this began in 2022. Exactly, it began in April 2022, and no evidence. Well, more than no evidence. The evidence wasn't enough to make them go to trial, let alone sentence them. So I just think the second case won't last long, and I hope it doesn't last long, because this case is it looks like it is bullshit. But other than this, we are seeing Elon Musk, being in the middle of controversy, people being angry at him and those sorts of things, and we will talk about all of this on the show today. So let's start with Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes, I don't know if you know this guy, is a streamer. He's a very popular streamer. Before he was a Trump supporter, now he doesn't support Trump anymore, and there are reasons behind that. Today's video is not a video on my opinion about Nick Fuentes. To be honest, I watch his show sometimes, and I gotta say he's very funny. I do understand that me saying those things is gonna get me in some sort of trouble, because I do understand that his views are extreme, or some of them at least are. I disagree with a lot of them. I also agree with some of the things he says, and that's that happens to be a reality with every person's opinions. So it's no surprise that I agree with some of his views and that I disagree with some of his views at the same time. But what's been happening is unacceptable and shouldn't happen. They have doxed him. If you don't know what that means, it basically means that they have shared on the internet the address of his house and his personal information. Now it's become public. Everybody knows where this guy lives, and he's now forced to move away from his house because the danger is too much. He said that the danger is a big problem, especially for his neighbors who have young families, and of course they can carry this burden of having people trying to assassinate him, because there has been an assassination attempt on Nick Fuentes, and the media should be ashamed of itself, because it's very disingenuous and very dishonest. They'll talk about a claimed assassination attempt. It's not a claimed assassination attempt, it's a real assassination attempt. Because if you look at the videos Nick Fuentes has shown on X, it's clear that it's a clear assassination attempt. Yeah, guys, there is no doubt about it. You can be a communist, you can be a far left person, but you can't do anything but admit that this was an assassination attempt. I'll show you the clips to make you understand what we're talking about, and then we will comment on them.
Yo, Nick!
So as you saw, a person came to his house, drove 3 hours, by the way, or 2 hours and a half. There is proof of that too. And that person, in the meanwhile, I don't know if it was before or afterwards, but this person killed also 3 other people and 2 dogs. So this person has been effectively an assassin. He didn't manage to kill Nick Fuentes, but he was an assassin, and luckily now he's dead. And guys, political violence in America is a big problem. As a person who's watching this from the outside, I can realize that in few countries, politics is so divisive like in America. So it's something that I believe America should solve. I hope that Trump can bring unity. He's been capable of winning the election in a landslide, modern day landslide. It wasn't like a landslide of the old days where Reagan would win 49 out of 50 states, or even Bush father, but it was still a modern day landslide. And We gotta admit that. So I hope that Trump can bring the country together. I don't know whether he will, but I hope he does. But guys, this shouldn't happen. I'm not gonna read you what Nick Fuentes has said about this attempt because it's really interesting to see his reaction and his statement, and I'm gonna show it to you guys while I read it. So these are Nick Fuentes' words. Last night, an armed killer made an attempt on my life at my home, which was recently doxed on this platform. The gunman carried a pistol, crossbow, and incendiary devices. I believe he intended to kill me. He is now dead. I am okay. According to police, the would-be assassin committed a triple homicide in southern Illinois early yesterday before he arrived at my doorstep with his old pistol drawn, calling my name. I am grateful to God that I am still alive today. Tragically, the gunman broke into a neighbor's home to evade police and killed two of their dogs. While heartbreaking, it could have been so unimaginably worse. God have mercy. Doxing is not a game. This nihilistic lynch mob behavior must end before anyone else is killed. I will now have to uproot my life and relocate while I can handle whatever comes to my front door. It is irresponsible to expect my neighbors with young families to share that burden. In the meantime, I will have to contract 24-hour security to protect myself and my property. So this is what Nick Fuentes has said about the assassination attempt, guys. And again, doxing should be taken more seriously. Elon Musk should be held accountable, I believe. I believe Elon should now, after this thing has happened, because let me tell you the whole story, because I haven't told it, so it's kind of difficult for you to understand. Nick Fuentes, a couple of weeks ago, I think the day of the election, he said something on X. He said, "Your body, my choice forever." And it was a joke he made which went absolutely viral. The most viral tweet of the election, 100 million views. That's how many views it got on X. So a lot of people saw that tweet and the news talked about it. So there was this Jewish feminist, from my understanding, she's a Jewish feminist that attacked him at his house. Now Nick Fuentes has been charged with battery, which is ridiculous. Free Nick Fuentes. I think it's ridiculous that he's been charged with battery for defending himself. A person came to his house and he pepper sprayed her. He didn't do anything. He didn't shoot her. He pepper sprayed her. And Nick Fuentes, like everybody, it's not that he's a special person. Everybody's got a right to self-defense. So what's happened and the way he's been charged is unfair. I think he should be acquitted. I hope he's acquitted, because if he weren't, that would be a real shame and that would be real unacceptable. So that's the whole story. This tweet went viral, and now there are people, and now he's been doxxed. The most popular dox, millions of people saw his dogs, saw where he lives and know where he lives. His private information has been shared publicly, and it has been shared to tens of millions of people, and all of this has led to the horrific attempt on his life. So I hope that he's fine, and I hope that he can, be fine in the next weeks, and I hope that everything goes well, because this shouldn't happen, and Elon Musk should do something to prevent doxing. As much as I believe Elon Musk is a hero and he saved the world with his free speech platform, I do understand he saved the world with it, but doxing shouldn't be allowed. And he even said that doxing in 2022, a couple of weeks after buying Twitter, at the time Twitter, now it is X, when he bought Twitter, he said doxing is not going to be allowed in his platform. It is a violation of the rules. And he needs to do something now. He needs to strengthen and heighten his measures against doxing, because this could happen to somebody else and it would be a disaster. So this needs to be done. I also believe he should do something to ban porn, or at least restrict it. But now, since this has happened, I think he should really follow through what he said and take advantage of this opportunity in order to stop doxing and condemn it. But condemning it, it's not important. He should stop allowing people to dox other folks on X. That's all he should do. Elon Musk has been a hero, but he's got this one wrong, no doubt about it. Andrew Tate's case, guys, is falling apart as we're saying it. So basically what's happened is that the case has been sent back to the prosecutor once again. It's difficult that they will reinvestigate the Tate brothers with this first case. As you know, there are two cases ongoing in Romania with the Tate brothers. There is also an extradition they're facing in the UK after this case ends. These cases end. The case hasn't been dismissed. However, it has been sent back to the prosecutor. This means that probably the two cases will be joined. Let's not forget that Romania have until February 2025 to indict the Tate brothers once again, or charge them I don't know which word, but in June 2023 they were charged with human trafficking, and they have until February 2025 to do the same again. Let's see if they do it. I don't know whether they will. I don't know whether the case will get there. I think it will, but let's find out. So this is a big legal win for the Tate brothers that have defended and have said they're innocent ever since this attack began, ever since this legal war with the Romanian judicial system began. The Tates say and claim that the US and the UK are behind this, which is, I think, the most probable conclusion. Should they be really innocent? If they were really innocent, it's very probable that Romania didn't do this by itself, but there were also foreign interests in all of this. And when I talk about foreign interests, I mean the Democratic Party and the UK, the US State Department, I think it's called it that way. I think that if the Tates are innocent, they were behind this attack. There is no doubt about it. Romania didn't do this by itself. There is no doubt about that. What does this mean? Well, this thing means many things, in my opinion, but we will have to see what happens. The Tates are still constrained within certain boundaries. Andrew Tate is under house arrest. His brother Tristan, on the other hand, is under judicial control. He can do whatever he can, go wherever he wants within the confines of Romania, but Andrew's still under house arrest. And those, by the way, are the restrictions of the second case. The restrictions of the first case are the fact that, Tristan is under judicial control, and so is Andrew in the first case. In the second case, on the other hand, Andrew is under house arrest and Tristan is under judicial control. So this is what's been going on. This case has been not dismissed, but it has been sent back to the prosecutors. The most probable outcome is that they will join the two cases and try to make it go to trial. But honestly, I do not think that they will reinvestigate the brothers for the first case, because now I think they will give up on the first case. But now there is also taxing, the UK is saying that they haven't paid taxes and those sorts of things. So the legal nightmare for the Tates and the legal battle between the judicial systems and the Tate brothers is going to go on for a couple of years, I believe. Then let's see whether they're completely innocent, partially innocent, guilty. We're going to find out. But for the time being, it looks like that the evidence that has been found by the prosecutors isn't enough to make this first case go to trial. So this is certainly an interesting thing. And should the Tate brothers be found completely innocent, I believe the US needs to answer some questions, and so would have to do potentially the UK. So this is the situation we're looking at. Let's now talk about what's happening in Germany, which is a tragedy. 11 people, including children, or at least that's the last thing I saw, were killed because a car crashed into some Christmas. They weren't shops. I'm going to use the word shops because I can't find another one, but those are the sorts of Christmas shops. And a car drove there, and of course there was somebody driving the car. And I actually going to expand on this. I'm not going to talk about just this heinous event. I want to share my gratitude, and I also more than the gratitude, I want to really be close to the families that have been affected by this horrific thing. But we need to talk about important stuff here. We need to talk about important stuff, and we need to talk about the dangers of illegal immigration and radical Islam. Radical Islam is dangerous. So is radical Christianity, by the way. But now we're talking about radical Islam. So the situation is the following. There was a man, 50-year-old man from Saudi Arabia, radical Islamist, who drove this car and killed all of these people. This is a heinous thing. It's truly heinous. It's stuff of the likes you hope never happens, but it's so sad it's happened. And guys, I have talked about this endlessly, and I am sure that in a couple of years or months, this clip will be seen, because I will be proven right once again. But guys, I'm gonna say the following in today's video. I know a few people will watch this right now, but maybe in a couple of years this clip will go viral and I will be proven right. I know it's gonna be difficult to win this battle. I know that by myself it's not gonna be won. I know that we need European patriots and Westerners to fight against this insanity, which is the immigration stuff that has been destroying Europe. the illegal immigration stuff which has been destroying Europe. Illegal immigrants have been flooding in European countries under the name of tolerance, and this is truly a shame which cannot keep going. It's not fine, and we need to stand up against this thing, because if we don't do that, we're screwed, and Europe goes to hell. Europe is the most beautiful continent in the world. Its culture is unmatched. No continent has gotten better culture than Europe. I'm gonna say something which makes me a white supremacist, but I couldn't care less. I believe white people have the best and finest culture. It's my opinion, it's my belief. And this isn't white supremacist, this is just white supremacy, this is just an opinion. If some Indian dude or if some Asian dude comes up and says, oh, Asians have got the best culture, it's not Asian supremacy, it's just an opinion, it's just you being, being close to your race, so to say. So that's the kind of situation we're looking at. But I don't care if they assassinate me, throw me in jail, cancel me, whatever the hell they want to do with me. But I'm not going to go down without a fight. I will fight for the rights of Europeans to have a country which is theirs. I will fight for the rights of Europeans to have a continent which is theirs. And I don't care what the consequences are. Remember one thing. This is something I want to say to every one of you. What's right isn't always what's convenient. Sometimes you will find out that what is actually right doesn't lead to the most convenient outcomes and the most convenient consequences. But in spite of that, you still need to fight, keep going, and do the right thing. You need to do the right thing regardless. That's what you need to do. So I want to say this loudly and clearly to everybody, to every one of you. Keep fighting, never give in, never give up, and keep fighting for what's right and for your liberty, because we can't let these tyrants take away our freedom. We can't let them do that. And if the consequences that fighting for our basic rights are gonna be assassination, incarceration, give it to us. I don't care. It's fine. It's fine to be in an unfair position and situation, but it isn't fine to be intellectually dishonest, and it isn't fine to be in a position where you haven't done what was right. Always do what's right, regardless of the consequences it leads to. The worst thing somebody could do is something that's wrong and that's dishonest. If something is right and is inconvenient, do it anyway. It doesn't matter, because in the end it will be rewarded by God, who is there. So that's what I'm saying, and that's my message. And this clip hopefully will be watched by millions in a couple of years. I hope that's the case. And I hope the consequences are going to be whatever they're going to be. I don't care. I will keep fighting. I will keep fighting for my opinions and my ideas. I couldn't care less what the consequences would be. Bring it to the table. Let's have a debate. If you don't like it, I'm fine with it. I don't care. So that's my whole message. But now let's come back with the problem that radical Islam. Radical Islam is a big issue, and so is radical Christianity. But these men, again, it's interesting, because migrants, I don't have any data to back this up, but I've seen data talking about this, and it's true. In Italy, for example, migrants make up 8% of the population. In spite of that, 45% of sexual crimes have been committed by them. Why is that? It is because immigrants tend to commit more crimes. Again, this is not xenophobic. I'm just highlighting a problem. I'm highlighting a problem which needs to be solved. And how can you solve that problem? By instilling values, by having a strong law. You need to have strict laws. Why is it that in Dubai, in spite of the fact that 85% of inhabitants are immigrants, crime is not through the roof like in London, for example? It is because they have strict laws which need to respect. That's the way it should be. We need to have strict laws that we respect, and this is not a right-wing opinion, this is just common sense. It's common sense, it's not right-wing. And again, I don't even believe in the fight between the two political spectrums anymore. I believe in right versus wrong, and in common sense versus something which isn't common sense. I believe in common sense against dystopian ideas. That's what I personally believe in. But why is it that immigrants commit more crimes? It is because they care less about the country they're migrating in, and it is because they come from third world countries in which they've seen the worst things happen. If you pretend that some African dude is not going to do whatever the hell they want after having had to fight against starvation and wars, you're a moron. That's the truth. People from the third world will do whatever they want to do in first world countries because they are people who haven't been educated. We need to allow people in who can contribute to the development of society, of Western societies. That's what you need to do. I don't understand you need migrants because your people can't make children anymore. I wonder why your people don't make children anymore, you stupid leaders. The reason is very simple. The reason is so simple, actually, it can be summarized in maybe 20 seconds. It's because prices are through the roof and the family has been demonized. People have been alienated. That's so sad and that's unacceptable. And we will keep fighting for this. But radical Islam is a big, big, big issue. We're seeing it in the UK. The degrade in those societies is stunning. It's not to be believed. You see it in London. London's such a fine culture. And you see people with their dicks out doing heinous stuff on the streets. You see things getting dirtier and dirtier. How can you allow something like this to happen? It's so dangerous and it's so bad and it's so horrendous. It is such a downgrade in terms of culture and those sorts of things. You can't allow those things. Now you should allow immigrants in, but only those who contribute to the development of society first of all. And you shouldn't allow those people to do whatever they want to do. It's such a simple concept. Why do the leaders of European countries why do leaders of European countries not enact laws that protect their people? Because they're globalists and they couldn't care less. Those are people who can live anywhere they want. And we will keep exposing the globalists and their corruption in spite of the downsides that those things will lead to. Because trust me, when you have millions of, if I ever want millions of people listening to me and I say those things, the consequences will not be great, but I will be fine with it. I will sleep fine in that jail cell or in whatever circumstance, knowing that I did what was right instead of what was convenient. That's my whole idea. And radical Islam is a big issue. We're seeing it in the world, we're seeing it in the UK, we're seeing it in Germany now with this person. Radical Islam must be stopped, and radical Islamists shouldn't be allowed in Europe. If you want to be Muslims in European countries, you should adapt to European culture. Europe is Christian. You should adapt to Europe. You should follow its laws. Sharia law ain't in Europe. Sharia law is in Pakistan and whatever Muslim country. That's the way it should be. I'm not saying anything that is remotely controversial here. I'm saying something which people agree with and in which people believe in. Trust me, people believe in those things. And this is not a radical thing I've been saying. And this is my whole standpoint of what's been happening in Europe. So now let's talk about Elon Musk. So there's been complaints about Elon Musk's power in America. Let me just say a couple of things. Is it dangerous that a person has got so much power? And is it dangerous? It is freaking dangerous. It is dangerous that a person has got so much power. It is dangerous that a person like Elon Musk has got so much power. But it is inevitable. You need to understand that it is inevitable. And would you rather have China having control of AI and those sorts of things, or Elon Musk? That's the question you should answer. We shouldn't answer the question about whether it is dangerous that somebody like Elon Musk has got so much power, because it's inevitable that people will have so much power. Would you rather have the West in control of AI and those sorts of things, or China? This is the question I will ask everybody of you to answer. Answer this question. So it is inevitable that somebody's got so much power. Should it be that way? Maybe it shouldn't be that way, but we are in this situation. I am scared by AI. I think AI is dangerous. I wouldn't want AI. I don't want chips. I don't want those things. But what the hell can we do? Unfortunately, that's what's coming next, and we need to play the game as best as we can, and we need to take advantage of the rules of the game as much as we can. So would you rather give control to China or keep it to America? That's the question I want to ask everybody. So do understand people's complaints about Elon Musk's power, but what can we do about it? And I believe that Elon Musk's relationship with Trump, it's a very positive thing. I think it's a very positive thing that we've got somebody with the competence of Elon Musk. I'm not saying in charge of America, but it's great that we have somebody like him helping Trump make his choices. It's great that we have somebody like him, because he's a very competent person. He's a person who knows loads of things. He's a person who's competent in many fields, and he can really be helpful to the Trump administration to do what's right and to do the things that are great. That's my personal opinion on Elon Musk. When it comes to the bill, this bill, it's ridiculous. There is a bill that is like 1,700 pages long. How can people pass a bill like that, which is so long? And bureaucracy is a big issue. What Javier Milei has been doing in Argentina is truly stunning, and people are starting to imitate him. And I'm so excited by the Department of Government Efficiency, which is something that America needs and no Western nations need. I hope that this green agenda insanity comes to an end, especially in Western Europe, because it's truly scandalous that we are basically removing cars. Like, guys, Italy and Germany, I think, are two of the countries that sell the most cars, and we want to stop selling cars that go with gasoline? Is that what we want to do? Oh, the middle class, of course, always. The middle class is always the one that is detrimented the most by this stupid green agenda, which is being done for political purposes. People at home understand. They couldn't care less about climate change, and neither do I, for the record. But the difference is that I don't care about climate change like they do. They don't care about climate change. Okay, none of us cares about climate change, but I'm honest about it. I don't want to enforce laws on the populace which would remove gasoline cars, and they would detriment the middle class so badly. I don't want to do it. I'm honest about it. I'm honest about this. Honesty is crucial, but these people aren't honest. Oh, we need to stop climate change is the biggest threat there is out there. I would argue it isn't, but let's just not focus on whether climate change is real. It is real, but let's not focus on whether climate change is important or not. But let's just focus on this. It's a more important point to make, I believe. The middle class man, the middle class woman are being destroyed by this green agenda that is completely nonsense and should be stopped at all costs. And all of us need people in charge, a leadership that isn't incompetent and that isn't disingenuous. I am honest. They don't care about climate change, neither do I, but as a professional, I go out there and say, I don't care about climate change, but I'm not going to enforce green laws that will destroy the middle class. We should stop all of this from happening. I'm happy that they want to stop this. At least from my understanding, they are against this green agenda that is being pushed in the European Union, and it is something great in my opinion. But the Department of Government Efficiency is so great in my opinion, because, I'll tell you why it is great, for the simple reason that it can really help America be richer, wealthier, have more money, be more powerful than ever. It's great for America, guys. I'm talking about America. I don't know whether a powerful America is great for Russia or China. Of course, a powerful America isn't great for its adversaries. However, it is great for America. And I believe that every nation should put their country first. It's not national socialism. This is just, I believe, common sense, and even and moderates agree with this take too. Moderates want their country to be put first, and that's the way it should be. So I'm thankful there is Elon Musk. He's a great person. He's a person that is very smart, in my opinion, and Elon Musk can really help. He can really help Trump. Now, I've got a problem with the Trump administration that I've already talked about, and it is the Zionists and the Israeli shields. And I don't live in a cult, guys. I have criticized Trump, not so much because I haven't campaigned, like I didn't go to rallies and speak for him, but let's just say I campaigned on the internet for him. I supported him, and I support him wholeheartedly. However, I do believe his presidency will disappoint many. People think that it's going to be transformative. I'm not so sure it will. I believe it's not going to be an exceptional presidency, but I believe the great things it will bring will be seen afterwards. We will see the great results of the Trump administration afterwards, and especially what's so important is the cultural shift, because a pro-masculinity and femininity culture is coming back now. With Harris and Biden, it was woke agenda stuff. And as a European, as a person who loves Europe, I am happy about this Trump win, not because it is better politically for Europe. Let's be clear, a Democrat win would have certainly been better, because Democrats would have still supported European allies in Ukraine with NATO. Trump is gonna stop funding Zelensky. Trump is gonna stop doing those things, which I think can be great. I think that trying to end the war is a great thing and it is a great thing to do. But people have told me, oh, how can you support Trump if it's bad for Europe? I'm like, I do understand it's bad for Europe politically, but the cultural shift is so important. Because everything was going to hell with the woke propaganda, with the far left propaganda pushed by some lunatics, some mentally ill people. And with Trump, this is going to come to an end. The woke culture is gone, cancel culture is gone, the media is gone, guys. You can hate Trump. I don't hate him, to be fair. You can hate Trump. But one thing we should all thank him for is destroying the legacy media. Trump has destroyed legacy media. Legacy media gets a couple of hundreds of thousands of views. Podcasts and independent media gets millions. We should thank Trump for this, at least. Yes, let's be honest, we should thank Trump for this. If it weren't for him, we would still have CNN and BBC, same bullshit, and we would still have to endure their lies. On the other hand, we've got independent media, which is way better. Way better. We should thank Elon Musk for X. We should thank these people for these things, even if you don't like them. So the cultural shift, my hope is that the cultural shift and the cultural change will be so big that Europe is going to benefit from it. So that's why I have supported and support Trump massively, in spite of the fact I do believe that Israeli shields and Zionists will ruin his presidency, guys. Trump's administration is similar to his administration in 2016. Okay, there is no Nikki Haley, there is no Mike Pompeo, thankfully, who are corrupt as hell, but the problem is that those folks, the other folks who speak, are Israeli shields. They are Israeli shields and Zionists. And my concern is that these people have the interests of Israel in their hearts instead of the interests of America. It's not a problem to support Israel. I'm personally not pro-Israel and I'm not pro-Palestine either. So it's not a problem to support Israel. The problem is supporting Israel above America when you are working for the American presidency. It's a conflict of interests which can't be allowed. It's a foreign influence that shouldn't be there. So my concern is this. The lobbyists, unfortunately, have shaped Trump's cabinet. However, whether you like it or not, my opinion is this. Trump's cabinet has been shaped by AIPAC, by Jewish lobby, Israeli shields, and those folks. Because the Jewish lobby, AIPAC, has contributed more than $130 million, which is a hell of a lot of money, to the Trump campaign. So, guys, I believe that all of this is not going to be great for America, unfortunately. And I do hope that Trump is not going to support committing a genocide in Palestine. I hope that he wants peace and then he discusses reallocation of land. Because I trust Trump in this regard because he's been the president who was proven to be the least warmonger and the most pro-peace. So I thank him for that, and I think he's going to be pro-peace in his second term too. But unfortunately, he's picked those Israeli shields, and I believe he's been forced to pick those Israeli shields. And what's concerning and what should be said is the fact that regardless of whether it's a Democrat or a Republican who wins the presidency, Israeli shields and Zionists are still in charge of America and still hold so much power in America. Trump's cabinet was filled with Jews. This is not anti-Semitism, guys. This is just pointing out something obvious. The Jewish lobby has contributed a lot to the Trump campaign. And all of this will lead to the fact that we will have people in Trump's cabinet who are going to prioritize Israel's interests over America's. And this is a foreign influence, and it should be condemned, and it should be called out. Nobody's got the guts to do it. Why is that? Because I believe that the Jewish lobby has got so much power in America. I do believe this. And people would say, oh, are you crazy? I'm not crazy. I think it's sensible for me to say those things. I think we've been saying it. Because regardless of whether it's a Democrat or a Republican, the control Zionists have upon said cabinet and said presidency is still absolutely overrepresenting, and it's crazy. So we need to call this out at all costs. That's my personal opinion about Trump, Elon Musk, all those things. Andrew Tate's case, guys, that is appearing to be falling apart, and that's my opinion also on other stuff. So thank you very much for listening to all of this, and I'll see you with another episode of the show, and get ready for 2025, because I've been planning how to improve this channel massively, because now it's not great. It's yet to be great, but in 2025 we will really do great stuff. you are not ready for 2025. It's going to be a great year. And folks, what can I say? I wish you the absolute best, and I'll see you with another episode of the 80s show, the 8th episode of the 80s show, as soon as possible.